Tube. So today I'm going to talk and probably end up ranting a little bit about the beast system that everybody's enslaved to. Flat Earth is the beginning of freedom. In a way, it is freedom, and globe Earth and the beast system is enslavement. And the evil masters of this world want everybody enslaved. And the globe Earth is it's a big foundation for the entire deception that passes as reality. So if you could get to the point where you actually know that the Earth is flat, you've probably connected a bunch of other dots, and you realize that it's a controlled reality unless you have freedom. And for me, the ultimate freedom is Jesus, but for a lot of people, in the beginning of ultimate freedom is the flat Earth. So the flat Earth equals freedom. But yeah, it gets to me when I have to go out into the public, into the world, and see how enslaved people are to all of Satan's hideous techniques and tools. One that really gets to me is smoking cigarettes. I mean, they're just so evil. They're such a perfect tool for Satan. I mean, they've got poison. They're highly addictive. They make people sick and disease and cancer and people are really, really addicted and enslaved by these little tubes of tobacco that they suck on all the time. And then once my eyes are open and I know about the Masonic symbolism and everything, you look at the symbols on the cigarette brands, and they're just completely blatant, Luciferian, Masonic. Every brand has a blatant symbol of Freemasonry or something like that. And you look at the popular brands around here that everybody smokes is Camel. It's got the pyramids right on there. Marlboro's got the pyramids. There's actually a brand I see on the side of the. They got a huge building right here that just sells cigarettes and booze. Right over the New Hampshire line, the cigarettes don't get taxed. So I'm not sure if it's like this where anybody who's watching this is, but I'm in southern Vermont, and I'm near a small town here that's it's kind of like a welfare town. It's just kind of impoverished, in a way, and just everybody smokes. I mean, from 10-year-old kids to 80-year-old, grandparents, they're all sucking on these hideous things all day long. I go by them in the cars, in the pickup trucks. The guys got them hanging out the corner of their mouth like they're cool, The girls are holding them up like they're sexy and sucking on a phallic symbol. And they're pigs. They throw them all over the ground. You see them walking into the store. They got the thing there to throw your cigarettes, and they don't even bother putting it in the cigarette thing. They throw it right on the ground, right next to the cigarette thing. So there's a whole bunch of cigarettes laying right on the ground as you walk in the store. Half the time they blow a cloud of smoke in the entryway, so you got to smell that when you go through. But I'm not ranting against the people, because we're all enslaved. I'm not enslaved anymore, but I was for most of my life, and I had all my own vices. I sucked on Copenhagen all the time, and smoked weed and drank and everything. I never did smoke cigarettes. I always thought they were gross. But I don't blame the people, even though it kind of sounds like, and I have to struggle not to judge and blame the people for smoking. But the hideous beast system that promotes it. That when the kids are in school or in their prison there, that's for the peer pressure and everything. Both my parents smoked, and I always grew up, trying not to breathe that stuff when we were driving around in the cars and everything. When I grew up, people smoked in public. They had ashtrays in the supermarkets, and, you go out to eat at a diner or something, everybody be smoking right at the table. And I always hated that smell of smoke and hated breathing it. So that when I got into high school or middle school even, when friends of mine and other kids were starting to smoke, I just couldn't get it. I was like, why would you do that? I spent my whole life trying not to breathe that stuff. Now I'm gonna start because everybody else is. Weed on the other hand was different. As soon as I smoked my first little bit of weed, I was pretty much hooked on that. But I had never grown up trying not to breathe in weed. Weed was kind of, it was something a girl got me. I had a crush on a girl, and she smoked a little bit, so it was just like kind of like Eve with the apple, I guess. But yeah, I was pretty much hooked on weed the first time I ever smoked at 14. And I smoked my entire life till year and a half ago. But yeah, the cigarettes, I mean, you look at what they do to people, the cancer industry and the tobacco industry, and it's just a way that the slave masters can suck the money and the life out of every smoker. And even people who don't smoke. I mean, like the medical community is just revolves around smoking, you know. If smoking were to disappear, the big part of the whole medical industry, cancer industry would go away. So, you know, they want people to smoke. You know, the beast masters, the evil people at the top, the Freemasons, the Satanists, you know, smoking's an awesome tool for them. And, you know, I see people, you know, they try for years and years to quit. They can't quit. They quit for a while. You know, now I see the vaping, which is really kind of good, I guess. You see Rooster, or Zora's really eyeing that rooster there. If you've been watching my videos, you know she's got a thing about the roosters. But, you know, it drives me crazy to see people, especially kids, you know, when you see them at a young age starting to smoke. And you know, it kind of, when I was growing up, well, by the time I was in high school, everybody pretty much knew it was something you shouldn't do, you know, but a lot more people smoked back then. Like I say, I forget when it was, like, illegal to smoke in public, but, you know, for most of the time when I was a kid, a teenager, I mean, everywhere you went, people were smoking. You know, like I say, you go out to eat, and you couldn't enjoy your food because you're sitting next to, you know, 5 people smoking cigarettes at the table. But, you know, it's enslavement. Now, the other, you know, and also now I notice in this town, in this little area where there's a couple towns around me, not only does everybody smoke, but there's like 4 different Dunkin' Donuts within like a 5-mile radius. And, you know, that's completely Luciferian. I can't even imagine what's in those donuts, you know, as far as chemicals and aluminum, which is another rant I'm going to get into, is why do they have to put aluminum into every frickin' thing in the world, including our air? But, you know, you got the DD, the Dunkin' Donuts 44 in numerology, and they love the duality, you know. So, but, you know, these people that are walking around with a cigarette in one hand, they all got a big fat sugary drink, a 32-ounce sugary coffee or whatever they call it, you know, in the other hand. And usually they're juggling their cell phone, which they're staring at. So they got the cigarette, the phone, the Dunkin' Donuts sweet thing, and they're all overweight. And, I just, out of all the people I see around, out of 50 people, there's maybe 2 or 3 that look like they're healthy. Everybody else is either coughing with a cigarette, they're fat. Oh, their kids are fat at like 5 years old. They're in the supermarkets. They got their supermarket carts filled with processed food and GMO food. And if you were to read the label on any of this frozen stuff, you couldn't even, it's like at least 50 ingredients, and most of them you can't even pronounce the chemical name that they are. And they're, and the kids are all whining for them to buy me this, buy me that, because they watch TV, and they're all taught to be consumers from the day they're born. And, it makes me sad and angry at the same time. I'm sad for the people, and I'm angry at the hideous society and the beast masters that control the whole thing. I mean, these kids are 5 years old and they're already fat, and their parents don't even know any better. They just load up the supermarket, load up the supercart, the shopping cart with frozen pizzas, frozen this, frozen that, sugary, crappy GMO stuff. You never, then you do see some people that have produce and who eat well and everything, but they're enslaved by, other stuff like pop culture and whatever materialist status symbols, nice cars, and who can, money. So they're enslaved by money, but, there's some people that do know what produce is. But how many of those people that eat produce know that most of their produce is covered with pesticides or GMO'd, So yeah, I mean, they got everybody enslaved. So these Dunkin' Donuts are everywhere. And they're always packed. I mean, people just love that crap. And I hear people talking, oh, I love my Dunkin', love my Dunkin'. It's like, wow, And I remember I've had some of those donuts, and I guess they taste kind of good for artificial crap, but, they're killing you. Anything that comes out of that place, is going to be bad for you, because the beast system controls it all. And the other one is Subway. There's a lot. Some of them they have the Subway and the Dunkin' Donuts in the same place. You know, so you can get all your hideous food in one stop. You know, you can get your processed meats full of nitrates and food colorings and GMO vegetables and all that good stuff. Mayonnaise, fake mayonnaise, and just all crap. And then have a couple donuts for dessert and a big mug of sugary sweet fake artificial coffee crap. All in one beautiful stop, Dunkin' Donuts and Subway. Yeah, you got the Subway sign. It's got the 33 with the SUB and the WAY, two different colors. There's your 33. You got the as above, so below with the arrows. And that looks like a devil's tail, so, you know, we know where they're coming from. Yeah, and around here, too, they have the Jiffy Marts, and they have they have this big oil company that runs the Jiffy Marts called Irving Oil. I think in one of my little videos I showed the Irving shavings, which I imagine is probably the same company that had the as above, so below pyramid. Same with the Irving Oil Company. And they're all very successful because they're all part of the Freemason Slave Master Club. That's how they get there. But yeah, so between the cigarettes and the Subway and the Dunkin' Donuts, and never mind all the beer and crap too. But yeah, drives me nuts. Yeah, I like to see the vaping thing now. I hear that they're going to make vaping, difficult. Or somebody was telling me I know a guy's trying to quit smoking and he's vaping, and he's like, well, yeah, but the FDA's cracking down on the vaping. It's like, well, of course they are. But so they're either going to make it really expensive and take over so that they get all the profits from the vaping, or they're going to make it, really tough, because I'm sure the tobacco industry is not crazy about the vaping thing. But they'll just take it over and then they'll make all the money from the vaping devices and the juice that they put in there, whatever. But all right, I think I've exhausted my little rant for today. But smoking's always bothered me, and it just makes me so angry that the people are so asleep that they just get sucked into this satanic system that we live in, this Freemason-run system. They believe everything in school. They believe the doctors, and yeah, they have no idea that their reality is completely contrived and fake, and their souls are going to burn. All right, well, glad I got that off my chest, and I'm, hopefully I'm not sounding like I'm judging these people. I guess I did sound like that. It's hard not to, that's a tough thing, is not to judge the people, but it's like Jesus, you love the sinner but hate the sin, So I love it. I love all the people, but I just wish that they weren't smoking and fat and eating Dunkin' Donuts and Subway, and it's just pushed on everybody all the time with advertisement and just fake flavors and fetal tissue and everything. Chemtrails. All right. Probably gonna have to do another rant here before long, because I haven't exhausted all my ranting yet. But we're getting to 15 minutes. I got a few more rants I'm gonna throw out here. I had a request for some rants, so I don't mind ranting against the beast system. Flat Earth is freedom. Jesus is freedom. Globe Earth is lie. Globe Earth is slavery. All right. Love all you guys very much. Bye now.